as we wind down towards a close here, Kim, it reminds me of the word legacy. And you've shared openly about your health journey in recent times, which I think helps so many people, you know, when we're open to share in that way. That transition for you, where you're now confronted with something and you still walk as a warrior, some would say a healing warrior, because this is part of your truth now, my understanding.
It is.
Absolutely. So with that on your plate and how you've chosen to address this, how you've chosen to confront this, how you continue to move forward, tell us a bit about that, because that is part of your legacy.
Yes, it is. It's nothing I expected, of course. You don't, but just, so my oldest daughter's best friend, Rihanna, who's also very open about this, they discovered ovarian cancer when she was very young, in her 20s, accidentally. And she became involved with the Ovarian Cancer Canada, which I am involved in now. And for your viewers who don't know, I have stage 3C ovarian cancer and I'm palliative. Palliative does not mean I'm dying. Palliative means I'm on a series of treatments. There is no cure for me. There is no remission. I know that. But there's a series of treatments that they can give me that will give me a good quality of life for as long as I can. So I'm very fortunate to be able to locally get treatment here at the local hospital. They're amazing. I go every week for chemo, and I'm taking a bit of time off because that family time is coming up and we're going to do a little vacation. And you know, the good thing is I have mostly good days. And when I don't have good days, I now recognize it and I force myself to just take it easy. It's been a hard thing for me, as I said earlier. But the Rihanna, like 20 some odd years ago when Rihanna was diagnosed and we weren't sure where that was going and had implications for her as a young woman, obviously. When I became an MP, it's the same time, Ovarian Cancer Canada came up with something called the Lady Balls campaign. And I thought it was brilliant because men are the biggest donors to any charity. They write most of the checks. And what's ovarian cancer? Breast cancer, they understand. Ovarian cancer, not so much. So anyways, they asked me if I'd be a champion. And of course, you know, Rihanna, of course I would. I was her second mom, she calls me. And so I sponsored things on the Hill. We did a lot of advocacy, what have you. And then when I stepped back in 2018 as the parliamentary secretary, we were changing ministers, and I still did work with Amarjeet Sohi. He was a great minister. I still held the nuclear file for the most part. The Prime Minister put me on the Finance Committee. So that was, you know, a pretty prestigious committee with lots of work to do. And we were doing the budget. And here's an ask from Ovarian Cancer Canada. And so I talked to the Prime Minister. Bill Morneau was Finance Minister at the time. He and I had a chat. And for the first time ever, the federal government gave money to Ovarian Cancer Canada, $10 million over 5 years. Some of the provinces have matched it. They've given money to lots of other cancers for research, but not ovarian. So that was April 2019. Election was October 2019. I lost the election. At the end of January 2020, I found out I had ovarian cancer. Now, what are the odds? I knew all the signs. I knew everything, like to do with it in terms of what you should look for. But the problem with the ovarian cancer is there's no test. And the symptoms are heartburn, bloated, tired. Well, I just lost an election. I was moving from Ottawa and my stuff back to Cobourg, and you know, it's not that fun to lose an election, and your life was changing. And so I could explain it all away till I couldn't. And so that journey and got me there, like to the point where I found out I had ovarian cancer, and then it's pretty devastating. The life expectancy is not good. And I became something called platinum resistant after my surgery and my first rounds of treatment. And that means that the heavy hitter drugs don't work on me. That's why I'm palliative. But the life expectancy is you have a 50% chance of making it. as platinum resistant, 2.5 years. 25% chance of making it 5 years. And so when I heard those statistics, I had a few moments. But then, like I always do, my research, I found out statistics are 5 to 10 years old. I found out that they include women in their 80s. I found out they included people with other primary issues. I found out they included people who unfortunately live in places where they can't get care, or they didn't have their surgery done by an oncology surgery, like a gynecological surgeon. And it increases your outcomes so much better. So when you take all that into it, you take those statistics, you put them in a nice ball and you throw them right out the window. And so once that, and I'm not saying I haven't had, especially in the beginning, a bad day. I've had them. But I have so many good days. I have life to look forward to. I am still an advocate for Ovarian Cancer Canada. I do various things for them. I was just in Ottawa, I don't know when it was before Christmas, I think, yes, and went and met with Jean-Yves Duclos, the Minister of Health, and lots of other people. And just because I think it's important to put a face to the disease. And a good friend of mine, Yvonne Jones, who's also a Parliamentary Secretary of Natural Resources right now, she's had breast cancer again. And so she's going through her challenges. And there have been a number of us. Deb Schulte, who was a minister, she's struggling as well. Parliament is a microcosm of Canada. We get things. We have health issues. We have family issues. We're human. And I think some people forget that politicians are human at every level, at every stripe. And that's unfortunate. I hope that people will start to look at them as human. But the ovarian cancer journey has been restrictive. COVID has been more restrictive. And for me particularly, because I'm immunocompromised. So I am very cognizant of, two friends have died recently that I would have gone to but their spouses completely understand why I won't go to a room of 400 people or 200 people. If everyone would wear a mask, I would, but they're not. So we're just very cautious about where we go and what we do, both Tom and I. We still mask when we're out. And I have, our oldest granddaughter is 26. We have a 25-year-old 24-year-old, maybe she's 27. I don't know. 2 25-year-old grand boys, and then our 2-year-old granddaughter. So we have lots of fun and life, and I have an amazing husband who I've been with almost 50 years. So, who's a rock. And it is, during COVID, I had my surgery March 20th, 2020. I was the last surgery at Lake Ridge Hospital. They closed it down for COVID. Wow. Yeah, I know. That was a wow. And my daughter and her wife, who live in Kitchener, my oldest daughter is a teacher, and Kathy is a business manager, and she works from home. They moved in with us until till August, till I was finished my treatments. We had a big house back then, and it was just so amazing. I felt the cocoon around me, I guess, that really made me just concentrate on me getting better. Which was amazing, and friends and neighbors, but again, COVID, it was tough. In some ways, it was good because there was no expectation anybody come see me, so that was kind of good. But you miss the interaction. I'm a very social person, and it's been hard. So yeah, nice weather will be here soon enough, and we'll all be outside, and we'll all be getting together. But the one thing I would say about the cancer journey is we we push along, I push along in my situation particularly, till they come out with the next new iteration. And they've just approved something in the US, we haven't yet, and I'm hoping it's here and not too long, but we'll see. I've done one clinical trial, Princess Margaret, which required me to be in Toronto for 2 days a week, every Monday, Tuesday. And we had friends who had a condo there that weren't, 2 sets of friends, they weren't using them. I got to stay there. I mean, it would have been really hard without it. I took the train. We take advantage of the fact that VIA gives you a companion ticket free if you need help. There's just all sorts of, out in the world. I don't know what the appropriate word is. I don't think it's karma, but there are things that come to you when you need them, if you're open to receiving them, I think. The clinical trial gave me an amazing quality of life for 7.5 months. It stopped working, and I'm losing my eyesight because of it, but hopefully it's going to come back. And I have another set of glasses so I can see the golf ball on TV and the tennis ball, and I can drive. But yeah, it's, my life is going to be shorter than I expected it to be, but it doesn't mean to say it can't be as fulfilling